People always have high expectations for geniuses, and that applies to our protagonist as well. While observing him, a girl told her friend, "He's the genius of our college. I heard he mastered all the advanced spy programs of every profession, and he looks pretty good too. Today, he'll definitely switch to a powerful job class." Her friend agreed, adding, "Of course he will. Someone like him will definitely awaken a powerful job class. And when that happens, I will confess my feelings to him." Before we continue, you should know the backstory of this world. 100 years ago, the world was invaded by games. All sorts of monsters appeared, and people began awakening skills. Humanity faced a grim fate. Switch stations, fight monsters, level up, or face death. And geniuses always attract attention at such times, as their abilities determine the fate of humanity. Today is Job Class Transfer Day, and our protagonist, Jiang Li, is very happy that the moment has finally arrived. 18 years ago, he crossed over to this world. With exceptional talent, he has been tirelessly learning various abilities. He has only one goal: to become the absolute strongest. His status in 4 classes is suitable for him: excellent in warrior combat skills, mage combat skills, assassin combat skills, and advanced combat skills. Everyone is expecting that such excellent talent is sure to awaken a hidden job class. Well, jobs are divided into basic jobs, advanced jobs, and hidden jobs. The strength of jobs and the difficulty of awakening increase in sequence, especially for hidden jobs. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, awakening to obtain overwhelming power. The principal of his school tells everyone that Jiang Li's future is boundless. Of course, being too outstanding will always attract jealousy and dissatisfaction from some people. When Jiang Li was going into the awakening grounds, he was stopped by his bully classmates. They called Jiang Li the highly anticipated genius. The leader of those bully classmates, Yan Shu, looking down on Jiang Li, asked him which advanced job class he planned to awaken today. Yan Shu is from the Golden Domain, one of the 3 geniuses of their Golden Domain Academy. His father is a powerful Golden Class practitioner. Yet on campus, Jiang Li is always one step ahead. Jiang Li doesn't want to associate with him and told Yan Shu that he just doesn't know what to awaken and started walking away. However, Yan Shu stopped him, placing his hand on Jiang Li's shoulder and told him to stop showing off, or he might awaken a garbage job class. He laughed and told Jiang Li not to blame them for not giving him face when that happens. Jiang Li got angry and told Yan Shu to let go of him. Hearing that, Yan Shu also got a little angry, but when he saw Jiang Li's blue, glowing eyes looking at him very angrily, he got a little scared and removed his hand. Well, Jiang Li also knows that today he will definitely be the center of attention, and if his awakening fails, it would be truly embarrassing, because once a genius fails, they become a laughingstock. A little later, the students' awakening started. The first one was Zhang Danyu from Class 1, who awakened and failed first. He was very disappointed, but his teacher told him that even for students awakening to ordinary professions, they shouldn't lose heart, but keep striving, as there is potential in everyone. Then he called the next student. The next student's awakening was very powerful. The whole ground got covered by bright lights. This student was Li Muan, and she successfully awakened the advanced job class Swift Archer. Students of Golden Domain Academy jumped in happiness because it's the genius girl from their Golden Domain Academy. Li Muan, looking at Jiang Li, smiled as he clapped for her successful awakening. Suddenly there was another flash. It was another advanced job class. The one who awakened next was Class 3's Yan Shu, who successfully awakened as an advanced job class, Flame Mage. Everyone was amazed by it, but Yan Shu was disappointed, saying it was just an advanced class. People began to talk, noting that 2 consecutive advanced classes meant this class was really strong, and that even stronger ones were likely coming up. Yan Shu stepped down from the stage, remarking that although it was just an advanced job class, it was already super impressive to others, dismissing them as a bunch of inexperienced fools. When Yan Shu saw Jiang Li in front of him, he insulted him, saying, "Don't think your clown-like efforts can change anything. Talent is something you're born with." Jiang Li thought Yan Shu was a moron and chose not to reply. Next, the call was for Class 4's Jiang Li. He went to the stage. Meanwhile, in the office where all the principals of different academies were watching the awakening, an old principal asked the principal of the Golden Domain Academies if this was Jiang Li, the one with the best grades in his school, who really stands out. The principal didn't say anything, and just watched as Jiang Li's awakening began. Jiang Li's body started to glow with blue light, and a job class scroll and a talent book appeared as he awakened. But as time passed, the blue light grew stronger. The principal of the Golden Domain Academy stood up from his seat to see such a commotion happening, wondering if it could be the unique hidden job class. But when the blue light diminished, Jiang Li's job class appeared. It was a basic mage class. The principals were shocked to see that. The old principal asked the Golden Domain Academy's principal what was happening, as wasn't he supposed to be the best student? Seeing Jiang Li's job class, Yan Xiu started to laugh, saying, "Serves him right! My flame mage is better than that." Everyone around Li Muwan started to call Jiang Li a so-called genius, and declared Li Muwan the real deal, asking her to please take them under her wing. Li Muwan was not even paying attention to them. She was just looking at Jiang Li, all worried. Jiang Li was just standing on the stage, not saying a word. People began to talk, noting that Jiang Li, supposed to be a top student, ended up with just a mage class. They had such high hopes for nothing. They all were laughing. One asked the others if they saw the principal's expression, noting how embarrassing it was. Jiang Li stood there thinking to himself, "Is this all there is to it?" But suddenly, a bright screen appeared in front of his eyes. It was a system notification congratulating Jiang Li for awakening a special talent, skills automatically max level. Jiang Li was surprised to see this special talent, having never heard of such a thing before. He wondered if there could be a connection to his crossing over. Suddenly, another window popped up showing Jiang Li his skills, but they were not at max level. But before he could say anything, the system screen started to shine very brightly. Jiang Li's 3 skills, Fireball spell, Light armor spell, and meditation spell, all began to rise in levels right before his eyes, and they continued to level up rapidly. Seeing his levels going up so fast, he got a little scared, and finally, all his skills leveled up to max levels. Shocked, Jiang Li asked, "What's going on here?" Jiang Li was surprised, because he remembered his teacher Pu Jing mentioning that after awakening as a practitioner, each profession comes with 3 level 1 starting skills. After leveling up, the strength and effects undergo a qualitative leap. But leveling up skills is very difficult. Currently, there should still be people who can max out all their skills. Jiang Li laughed, thinking that reaching max level skills turned out to be so simple. He smiled and said, "It seems like fate hasn't abandoned me after all. Skills automatically max level. This is even more awesome than a hidden job class." While all this was happening in Jiang Li's mind, suddenly, his principal shook him to wake him up. When Jiang Li opened his eyes, the principal of Golden Domain Academy told him not to be discouraged. Even though it wasn't a hidden job class, at least he had become a practitioner. His future still held endless possibilities, and all the teachers believed in him. After gaining something like the skill automatic max level talent, there was no way Jiang Li would be sad. With a big smile on his face, he thanked his principal, saying he would continue to work hard. The principal patted his back, telling him to cheer up and go back to the classroom. He thought that Jiang Li was a very good kid and truly commendable. When Jiang Li stepped down from the stage, everyone was laughing at him. No one even came to congratulate him. Well, it was just as Jiang Li expected. Reality can be harsh. Compared to seeing a genius succeed, people prefer watching a genius fail, but Jiang Li was really going to disappoint them all. Later, at the trial shooting range, everyone was trying out their skills. There, Yan Xiu was also testing his fire magic. He hit a mannequin with his fire magic, which simply burned its outer layer. Seeing this, Yan Xiu's underlings praised him, saying, "It's impressive, boss is indeed remarkable." While this was happening, Yan Xiu saw Jiang Li walking behind him and taunted Jiang Li, calling him an ordinary mage. But when Jiang Li didn't respond, he attacked him with fire magic, exclaiming, "I'm calling you an ordinary mage!" Annoyed, Jiang Li looked back and asked, "What do you want?" Pointing at the mannequins, Yan Xiu said, "Come on, let our genius show off his skills." With attitude, Jiang Li told him that they could practice on their own. He didn't need to practice, as he was already skilled. Hearing that, Yan Xiu and his underlings got angry. Yan Xiu told Jiang Li to quit the nonsense, saying, "Who said anything about practicing? I'm telling you to show off your skills. Do you dare to compete with me, an advanced flame mage?" Yan Xiu then put his finger at Jiang Li's head, calling him a wimp. Hearing that, Jiang Li became very angry and used his fireball spell to attack the mannequins behind them. Seeing it, Yan Xiu laughed, telling him to cut it out. "Basic fireball spell! Are you even serious?" But when Jiang Li's fireball hit the mannequins, there was a huge explosion. Yan Xue was shocked. Looking back, he asked, "What's going on?" That explosion was very huge, and not one, but all the mannequins in the trial shooting range completely burned. Yan Xue looked at Jiang Li, saying, "This can't be happening. Aren't you a basic mage?" Well, our protagonist didn't reply to him. With style, he walked away from there. The power of this basic level fireball spell was outrageous, although the power of the fireball at full level is great. But just that last one almost used up half of my mana. Jiang Li arrived at his home, thinking all the way that he had to quickly level up and increase the maximum amount of mana. When Jiang Li entered his house, a voice asked, "How can you come back without saying a word?" The one asking that was Jiang's mother, Dan Qingxui. She asked him to come in and quickly wash his hands. It was time to eat. At the dinner table, Jiang Li told his mother that he had successfully awakened today. He is now a mage. Hearing this, his mother became really happy. She told him that mages are great because they use skills from the back row in the team, which is relatively safer than the front row. She stood from her seat, telling Jiang Li she had something for him. She gave Jiang Li a box, telling him that it was from his father. Back then, his father was also a powerful professional. Jiang Li was shocked to find out that his father was a powerful professional, and he asked his mother, "Didn't you tell me before that he had died long before I was born?" He then inquired, "Since he was a powerful professional, where did he go in the end? Why has he ignored us for so many years?" His mother didn't know either. She told Jiang Li that his father had only said he was going to the edge of the world, citing very important matters to attend to, and then he left in a hurry. When she saw that Jiang Li was getting angry to hear this, she told him not to blame his father, explaining that he had promised to make Jiang Li a mage. That's why she had always emphasized Jiang Li's studies in mage skills. His mother started crying and said that now Jiang Li had grown up and become a mage. She hoped that his father could come back to them. She turned around and went to her room, saying she was tired. She asked Jiang Li to go back to his room and rest first, or he could check the box. Looking at the box, Jiang Li felt as if it was going to change his life. When he tried opening the box, a golden light started coming out of it. Inside the box was a job class scroll and a note. It was written on the note that using this scroll could change one's profession to a powerful arcanist, with the requirement for the profession change being that a mage class profession's strength reaches gold level or above. Jiang Li was shocked to find out that it was a profession change scroll, a scroll that could change him to a special profession. The requirements were to reach the gold level of profession. In this world, professions are clearly divided into normal, iron, bronze, silver, gold, holy domain, and demigod. When one reaches a certain level and meets the corresponding conditions, they can break through to the next rank. Jiang Li was told that his father was one of the top professionals at the gold level, but even he was only at the gold level, so there was no way for him to get this kind of scroll. Now, Jiang Li knew that it was all a lie. He couldn't understand what rank his father must have been to obtain such a scroll, holy domain or demigod. If he had such strength, why had there been no news for so many years? Jiang Li put the scroll back, thinking that for now, he needed to find a way to level up and become a gold-level professional. In 7 days, the trial for professionals in Jin City would begin. By then, Jiang Li's batch would also participate in the professional trial, so it was good to prepare in advance. Later, at the hunting grounds, a red-haired hunter, looking at Jiang Li, told another blue-haired hunter, "It's another ignorant kid who doesn't know the height of the sky and the thickness of the earth, just awakened and rushing to the wilderness to court death." The blue-haired hunter suggested that maybe he has a powerful special profession, but the red-haired hunter told him to look closely at how skinny he is. What else could he be besides a mage? Both of them started laughing at Jiang Li. Jiang Li ignored them and continued walking, but when a girl hunter named Vivi saw Jiang Li going along, she stopped him. She called him little brother and said, judging from his aura, he must be a newly awakened student. She asked if he wanted to join them. She kindly asked him, but her party members didn't like it. They told Vivi that they had important matters to attend to this time and couldn't bring such a burden with them. "It's his own business if he doesn't know his limits," they said. Vivi got angry at them, asking why they were all like this, but Jiang Li told her that it was okay. He thanked her for her kindness, but told her that he would be fine on his own. However, before he could go, Vivi stopped him, asking him to wait a moment. She took out a bottle of potions, telling Jiang Li that since he didn't want to team up with them, he should at least take this because, as a mage, He would find it useful later. Jiang Li thanked her and left for the hunting grounds. He went to the Grey Forest, where a level 4 big goblin was roaming around. Jiang Li hid behind a tree, and when the big goblin wasn't looking, he activated his fireball magic and threw it at the goblin. The big goblin noticed the fireball magic, but it was too late. When the fireball hit, there was a huge explosion, and the big goblin burned to death. Looking at its corpse, Jiang Li remarked, "Indeed, the max level fireball spell took care of the level 4 goblin in an instant." But suddenly, he heard someone's footsteps. He immediately turned around to see what it was, and saw a group of normal goblins coming out of the bushes, attracted by the commotion. Seeing them, Jiang Li backed off and started casting his spell, saying, "It's just as well. It saves me from having to search for them one by one." But suddenly, a goblin jumped and got too close to him to attack. When Jiang Li saw the goblin, he used the light armor spell. A light armor appeared and protected him from the goblin's attack. The goblins tried hitting it, but the max-level light armor spell isn't easily broken through. Jiang Li got ready to use his fireball spell again, this time hitting the ground with it. With a huge explosion, all the goblins around went flying. Seeing the destructive power, Jiang Li said, "It's like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut." Suddenly, a system alert notification told Jiang Li that he had leveled up by 1 level and was now at level 2. Well, he killed that many monsters. But the experience given was too little. Suddenly, more goblins appeared. Jiang Li got ready to use his fireball spell, saying, "No matter how many come, the result is the same." But this time, when he used the spell, nothing happened. He was unable to make the fireball. Jiang Li was shocked and scared. When he checked his stats, he found that he was out of mana already. Jiang Li was shocked to see his mana pool empty. He had only cast 2 fireball spells and 1 light armor spell. Even though he had just leveled up and increased his mana pool, it didn't last. Luckily, the shield from the light armor spell was still half full. Jiang Li decided to replenish his mana with meditation after finishing them off. He picked up a stick from the ground. Knowing that the goblins couldn't break through his defense anyway, he pointed at the goblins, saying he would play with them. When those goblins got near him, Jiang Li jumped to attack them, saying he would show them the power of the melee mage. He hit one goblin with all his power, but that goblin only lost 10 points of health. Just as expected, the damage of a melee mage is really low, but Jiang Li didn't lose confidence. He jumped to attack those goblins, saying 10 points was enough. Well, he was right. He could continuously attack those goblins, and they couldn't do anything to him anyway. Jiang Li continued hitting them, and at last, he killed all the goblins by night. He took a sigh of relief that finally he had worn them down. Jiang Li also realized that his physical damage was really too low. Suddenly, another system notification came informing him of leveling up to level 3. Well, seeing his stats, Jiang Li thought that currently he only has the fireball spell as an offensive magic. With his current mana, using 2 fireballs is already the limit. And during the cooldown of the fireball spell, he needs to use the light armor spell to ensure his safety, but this way the efficiency is still too slow. Suddenly, Jiang Li hears a loud sound coming from the forest. There were many red eyes watching him from the shadows. Hearing the sound, Jiang Li thought it could be, and he was right, a huge monster emerged from the forest. It was a level 10 elite monster, the giant axe goblin, which was multiple times bigger in size compared to Jiang Li. Seeing it, Jiang Li said it was perfect timing. Eliminating elite monsters in the early stages should provide a lot of experience. He used the light armor spell with full confidence. But just like before, nothing happened. No armor appeared. Looking at his stats, Jiang Li realized that his mana was still not enough. But the level 10 giant axe goblin wasn't waiting for him, and Jiang Li didn't even have enough mana for the light armor spell. The giant axe goblin raised his axe and swung it towards Jiang Li, who jumped to the side to dodge. The axe's attack force was so strong that it cut the ground. The giant axe goblin smiled at Jiang Li, who understood one thing: this was going to be a problem. But while Jiang Li wasn't looking, a small goblin attacked him from behind. Looking back, he saw the small goblins he had almost forgotten about, the little monsters. Jiang Li started to run away as both the giant axe goblin and the group of small goblins chased after him. Jiang Li thought they were bullying him because he was out of mana. He tried to stay calm. From the current situation, Jiang Li thought of 3 ways to deal with it. First, to find an opportunity to use meditation to restore his mana. But the small goblins would not let him do that. They would continue to follow him while throwing rocks at him, leaving no chance to focus in this situation at all. The second option was to use up the one and only potion that Vivi gave him earlier. Looking at the potion bottle, Jiang Li thought that this ordinary quality potion could only restore less than 1/3 of his mana, and one fireball definitely wouldn't be enough, but light armor would suffice. So the only option left was the third one. Retreat for now, recover, and come back to fight again. But running away isn't really Jiang Li's style. He turned back to fight the giant axe goblin, knowing that if he waited for his mana to naturally recover, it would take 24 hours, and during this time, the elite monster might be taken by someone else. Jiang Li opened the potion bottle and drank it. As he drank it, his mana immediately increased. The giant axe goblin raised his axe to attack again. It hit the spot where Jiang Li had been standing, destroying the ground. However, the one left shocked was the giant axe goblin. At the last moment, Jiang Li cast his light armor spell, which stopped the giant axe goblin's axe. Seeing his status window, Jiang Li wondered how much mana he could restore using max-level meditation before the light armor broke. This was a gamble, and Jiang Li played it. Seeing the light armor, the giant axe goblin became very angry. Ignoring this, Jiang Li sat down to meditate and started to recover his mana. Watching Jiang Li completely ignore him, the giant axe goblin grew even angrier and started continuously attacking the light armor surrounding Jiang Li. 1/3 of Jiang Li's mana had recovered, but his light armor was slowly breaking. Jiang Li didn't pay any attention to it and continued with his meditation. But when the giant axe goblin, using his full force, attacked the nearly broken light armor, it broke immediately. By then, Jiang Li's mana was half recovered. Seeing this, he said it was enough to deal with the goblin. The goblin was tired after struggling to break the armor, and before it could attack again, Jiang Li used his fireball spell. The giant axe goblin went flying after it was hit by the max-level fireball spell, resulting in a huge explosion. Along with the giant axe goblin, all the small goblins also died. A system notification informed Jiang Li that he had successfully attacked a weak point. It was a critical hit that killed the giant axe goblin. Jiang Li was exhausted because it was a close call, but max-level meditation sure is powerful. For killing an elite monster and many small monsters, Jiang Li's level increased by 4 levels. Currently, he was level 7. Jiang Li was surprised to find that he leveled up 4 levels just by killing an elite monster. He went to check the corpse of the giant axe goblin, hoping to find something good. He found 2 pieces of black iron equipment, swift gloves, and exquisite leather boots. With his current combat strength, Jiang Li can either kill the monster with one hit or be killed by the monster in one go. Therefore, beginner's equipment probably won't make much of a difference. And it's ugly. Jiang Li decided to keep the equipment to sell when he gets the chance. Additionally, judging by his current mana, he still can't cast a 3rd fireball at full capacity. Each time, he risks his life to gather the monsters together. Jiang Li noted that this efficiency is not comparable to fighting an elite monster or grinding monsters for a whole day. He was hoping for other low-cost, wide-range attack spells, and suddenly he spotted a skill book lying on the ground. His eyes lit up upon seeing the book, as it contained a spell that even novice classes could learn. Opening the skill book, a huge surge of thunder flowed into Jiang Li's body at high speed. He was shocked to discover that the skill in the book was Arc Lightning, an area of effect spell. Arc Lightning is a level 10 spell with a casting time of 0.5 seconds, consumes 0 mana points, and can jump between multiple targets. The paralysis effect and damage scale with the user's level. As Jiang Li learned the spell, he laughed because it was a scalable skill with a control effect. He couldn't wait to try it out. Sometime later, in a peaceful forest, small goblins were resting after a day's work. Unwilling to let them sleep in peace, Jiang Li hit the goblins with a lightning spell. The attack injured but did not kill them, so he attacked them with another lightning spell. This second area effect spell hit all the goblins, and after the second strike, the goblins died. The damage from the lightning was not as high as that of the fireball, but the mana cost of 4 arc lightnings is barely on par with 1 fireball. The casting and cooldown time is faster than fireball, plus there's no need to gather monsters, making it a good spell. This is exactly what Jiang Li needed. Now he has a means to deal with the smaller monsters. He thought that the next target should be the area boss of the Grey Forest. If one elite monster can provide so much experience and rewards, the area boss must be even more rewarding. However, learning from previous lessons, Jiang Li sat down on the ground to replenish his mana before heading to the boss. After recovering his mana, Jiang Li ventured deeper into the forest where the goblin tribe was located. He believed the area boss would be there. He sneaked in while all the goblins were asleep around a large goblin statue, thinking he should quickly find the boss, and hit it with a couple of fireballs. However, as he was passing by a goblin, he suddenly stepped on a dry branch. Startled by the noise, he froze as a goblin woke up. Before it could wake the others, Jiang Li attempted to silence the goblin. With all his might, he struck the goblin on the head. However, as expected, the goblin only lost some health and did not die. The goblin became very angry and started screaming. Hearing it scream, the other goblins also woke up and began chasing Jiang Li. He started running away, pleading with them to stop, as he still needed mana to fight the boss. However, when a goblin threw a rock at Jiang Li's head, he became very angry, turned around, and began casting the lightning spell. He challenged the goblins, asking if they wanted to fight, then he would fight. He struck them with his lightning spell, causing all the goblins to lose half of their health. Jiang Li didn't stop there. He attacked them with a second lightning attack, and the goblins went down after being hit by the second attack. Angry that they had all ganged up on him, he still didn't see the boss anywhere. He wondered if it was not in the tribe. While he was contemplating this, suddenly the ground began to shake. Jiang Li thought it was an earthquake, but he couldn't understand why an earthquake would happen so suddenly. As he pondered, he unconsciously walked right in front of the big goblin statue at the center of the goblin tribe, not noticing the green light emanating from the statue's body. Meanwhile, not far from there, 3 people were roaming around in the forest where Jiang Li was. The guy in the middle was their leader, Yan Quan, Yan Xiu's cousin. He knew that Jiang Li was in this forest practicing this latte. Yan Quan planned to seize this opportunity to take down Jiang Li. Then his cousin would surely be pleased. He laughed, wondering how his uncle would reward him. Meanwhile, one of Yan Quan's underlings looked around and mentioned that it was so late. He questioned whether the guy surnamed Jiang was really still in the forest. Yan Quan angrily looked at him and said, "Why? You don't trust me?" The underling became really scared and explained that he meant no disrespect, but it was dangerous to be out in the wild at night. If they encountered an elite monster or a boss, entry-level practitioners like them couldn't handle them at all. Suddenly, they also felt the earthquake that Jiang Li had experienced. Yan Quan immediately recognized that reaction and understood that someone had triggered the area boss. He didn't expect this unexpected gain. He told his underlings that the area boss here is the Goblin Shaman, which the 3 of them, being black iron level practitioners, could barely handle. No matter who's fighting the boss right now, they would let them fight for a while.